At level 1, we have $1. There used to be a time when $1 could buy you a house, a horse, and a wife who wasn't allowed to vote. Today, it buys you half a song on the internet, or a very small, very suspicious burger from a man who doesn't want to look you in the eye. It is the price of hope. It's what you give a child to make them go away, or what you put into a vending machine in exchange for a bag of air that has 3 crisps hiding at the bottom like refugees. At level 2, we move up to $100, entering the realm of actual money. This is the highest denomination commonly seen in the wild, often kept in the special pocket of a wallet, separate from the receipts for things you've already regretted buying. $100 is a dangerous amount. It's enough to buy a dinner that makes you feel like a sophisticated adult for 45 minutes, until the bill arrives and you realize you've just paid $20 for a single vertical asparagus. It is also the price of a mid-range perfume that smells like ambition, but mostly just gives your coworkers a headache. At level 3, we move up to $1,000. $1,000 is an awkward amount of money. It's too much to lose down the back of the sofa, but not enough to buy your way out of a kidnapping. This is also the price of a used car that runs great, according to a man named Gary who is lying to you. With $1,000, you could buy 1,000 items from a dollar store, which would fill your house with plastic buckets and off-brand batteries until you died of clutter. Or you could buy a very fancy watch that tells the exact same time as your phone, but does so with more heritage. At level 4, we have $1 million. This is the number everyone wants, mostly because it's the jackpot number on every game show ever made. It is the traditional I'm rich number. This is the level of wealth where you start thinking about investments. People at this level often buy things called stocks, which are like invisible Pokemon cards for adults. You buy them hoping they'll get bigger, but usually they just sit there making you feel anxious whenever the news mentions the markets, which sounds like a very aggressive grocery store. At level 5, we have $1 billion. Once you reach $1 billion, you have stopped being a person and have become a geopolitical event. $1 billion is 1,000 millions. If you spent $1,000 every single day, it would take you nearly 3,000 years to spend $1 billion. By then, currency will probably have been replaced by clean water or fresh air, so it's a bad strategy. What do you buy with $1 billion? You buy things that don't make sense. You buy a social media platform so you can ruin it for everyone else. You buy a super yacht, which is a boat that is so big it has a smaller, slightly less super boat inside it for when you get bored with the first boat. At this level, you can also buy the one thing most people can't: the ability to ignore the law. At level 6, we have $1 trillion. A trillion has 12 zeros. If $1 billion is a mountain, $1 trillion is the planet the mountain is sitting on. Currently, no single person officially has $1 trillion, mostly because the world would probably crash like a poorly coded video game if they tried to withdraw it at an ATM. If you have $1 trillion, you could solve world hunger, but you probably won't, because you'll be too busy building a giant spaceship or trying to find a way to live forever inside a computer. Finally, level 7, we reach quadrillion dollars. This is more money than actually exists in the entire world. It is a fictional number, like infinity, or the amount of calories in a light salad. If you have $1 quadrillion, you could buy the sun itself, though shipping would be expensive and it would probably melt the delivery truck. At this level, you have everything, which means you have nothing left to want, which is a bit of a plot hole in the whole being rich thing.